Okay, here we go. Here we go. Mr. Lamont. I see that you have been sent to me. Mr. Lamont has been sent to me. Go to John chapter 6 and understand what the word really says. The disciples got Jesus in the boat, and he says to them, you know what? You guys are hungry. You saw that I conjured up food, and you got me in the boat hoping that I will conjure up some food for you because you're hungry right now. Do not labor for the food that you put in your mouth, but rather labor for the supernatural spiritual food that will last with your soul for eternity. And then the disciples say to Yeshua, okay, Master, you're right. You caught us red-handed. We were hungry, and we were just kind of hoping. We were just kind of hoping that you'd run us up some food. And then, one of the most important questions in the whole flippin' Bible is asked. Somebody says, friend Yeshua, you have called us friends. Somebody says, what must we do to get in on the work of Abba Father like you are? You're clearly in on the work of God. How do we get in on the work of God? How do we get in on the work of Adonai, Abba Father, the sweet Father of us all? We are all children of God. How do we get in on the work? The good work, like you're in the good work. How do we get in on the work? And Yeshua answers. And Yeshua's answer is written down in Greek. And there's one Greek word that's messed up in the Bible, in English. There's one Greek word that's messed up. There's a handful of them, but it's not the worst thing in the world. But those who seek and want to understand are seeking and they're hungry for the real goodies. They're hungry for the real goodies. So, Yeshua uses a word. The word is pistuo. P-I-S-T-E-U-O. P-I-S-T-E-U-O. You can look that up in your Strongs. But if you look it up in the lexicon, you know what a lexicon is? A lexicon is where that word is used in Greek culture, in letters, in documents, in poems, in songs. A lexicon shows you how that word is used in the flow of ordinary language when them people was alive. Okay? So this word pistuo, it means to cleave to. Now, you ever seen a cloven hoof? A cloven hoof, like on a goat, or a deer, you got one hard hoof and you got another hard hoof side by side, and they're exactly the same and they're stuck together. Those two hoofs are twinsies. Okay, pistua actually means become twinsies. And in other eloquent commentaries, pistuo is called cleave to, attach to, connect with. But in English, somebody decided to use the term believe or believe on. Now, believe in English is not the same thing as become twinsies as. Become twinsies with. Believe is I think the same way as that person. It does not mean that I wear the same t-shirt as them, as that I hang out with them and I totally imitate them. It does not mean that I totally imitate and seem just like them. Become twinsies with, pistuo. Okay, so they asked Jesus, how do we get in on the work of the Father like you're in on the work of the Father? And Jesus says, pistuo. Become twinsies with, become just like, become an imitation of the one that has been sent to you. The one that has been sent to you from heaven, from God. Become twinsies with that person. Okay, this is a key scripture in the whole Bible. Okay? Become twinsies with the one that has been sent to you. Now put that in John 3:16. Whosoever becomes twinsies with him shall have everlasting life. That is a tough call. Now, go through your New Testament Bible, and every time you see the word believe, you say the word become twinsies with, or be a total imitation of, every single place. See, now we're going to be reading the Bible all over again, just because of that one word. And where I got that was from the introduction of the Amplified Bible. The Amplified Bible was assembled by a woman named Frances Seward in the late 50s, right when I was born. A woman had the audacity to make a quote-unquote translation of the Bible, and she said, this is not a translation, and there's no perfect translation. I am just adding many comments and many nuances that I've read from many Bible teachers. She's respecting many Bible teachers and putting in some of their little beautiful comments and adjectives. So as you're reading the Bible, it's like rich and fat and glorious, and it's just like the original languages that were spoken, which is almost impossible. It's impossible to duplicate Hebrew and English. Hebrew is so beautifully complicated and poetic and all this stuff. The Koine Greek New Testament, like the wise rabbi says, these writings are unfathomable riches. You can spend a lifetime, and you'll have to spend 6 more lifetimes just to start scratching the surface of the beauty of the scriptures. In Hebrew, he's talking about the Hebrew scriptures, the Tanakh. So, LAMONT. I have met many people through that outfit called TLR and Torben Sondergaard. Torben Sondergaard is a happy, excited kid, and who, when he discovers something wonderful, he wants to share it with everybody. But there are times when he lacks balance, and he has had a discomfort with elder people. So in some ways, he's working with his discoveries and his way of looking at things, which is fine. I mean, God has blessed him so much, and he has touched so many ordinary Christians with the understanding and the awareness that you can step out on the street and use the name and the power of Yeshua to heal people and awaken people to the fact that God is operating now. God, the sweet one who loves you, God of loving kindness. So, LAMONT, I'm not sent to just anybody. I am sent to the deepest seekers and the ones that are pushing the envelope. And when someone like you is sent to me, when I'm heading into a friend's house that's going to extend hospitality to a bundle of miracle ministry on the street people, I'm going to get in there and mix it up. And you were driving the car. You're the one that could totally set your life aside in order to run with Yeshua in high gear. So, John 6:29 is the key verse. I forget the exact flow of the words, but it's basically connect with and become twinsies with the one that has been sent to you by heaven. Now this is just an introduction. I'm going to call this the introduction to Christianity Dangers playlist, okay? Christianity Dangers playlist. First comment. Why has this guy got this thing on his shoulder? Because God cares about fabric. There was a piece of fabric 5 stories tall, 6 inches thick, 48 feet wide that was torn from the top to the bottom when Yeshua, our friend, was crucified. God cares about fabric and about the covering of things. That cover was a cover of the holiest place. Now the holiest place is blown apart and it's transformed into a cup and some bread. The holiest place is the eating of the body and blood of Yeshua in a mystical faith way. Faith is belief in something invisible. And the word sacrament means a thing that you're doing in the physical realm that you feel confident is connected with things in the spirit realm. That is a sacrament. You're doing something that's visible. You believe that it's affecting something totally invisible. That's a sacrament. It's a mystery. It's a mystical thing. The word mystical is not a nasty, new agey, evil word. It's just a descriptive term. It's describing you are doing something. Like you're making a spell in the visible realm and you understand that it's affecting spirits in the invisible realm. That's a mystical thing. That's the same as communion or baptism. Or me wearing fabric on my shoulders in solidarity with the women who are wise enough to cover their heads in mystical sacramental stuff. Now, we're all talking to God all the time on the inside, but when we come together to follow the habits that friend Jesus taught, when we're coming together to follow the habits that friend Jesus taught, then all of the invisible spirit beings can see that we're coming together as a collection of the children of God, and we are told, the men, remove all head coverings. The women put on a drape catakalypto over their heads. Catakalypto is a word in Greek that means draped over and hanging down. It is not a hat. It is not a cap or a bonnet or a wrap. It is a drape over the head. Catakalypto means something. Then there's a word peribolion. Peribolion means an encircling beauty. If you look at 1 Corinthians 11, not sure what verse, maybe 12 or 13. Maybe 12 or 13. God has given woman her long hair as a peribolion, as an encircling beauty. It means like a nimbus, like a surrounding frame. Peribolion, something that surrounds. So God has given woman her long hair as a parabolion. It's not a catacalupto. It's not a covering draped over and hanging down. And those two words are translated cover in English. And that's a big mistake. Because women go and run around and say, well, God has given me my hair as my covering, so I don't need to have something on top of my head. But the word means God has given her long hair as an encircling beauty to her face. Cue many pictures of beautiful women's faces. It's the mommy face that all the children love and that the men want to look upon again because it makes their heart go thumpity thump. Not in lust, just in joy that my sister, my mom, my wife is so beautiful. These women are so beautiful. The parabolion is the encircling beauty around a woman's head. Now, I guess we're going to run this down. No, I'm going to cut it off. All right, so we're looking at, you start reading Leviticus 15 in a handful of different translations, and you start reading 1 Corinthians 11 in a handful of different translations. Read, 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 because these 2 points of male and female gender and special habits for the man and the woman, habits. The word religion just means habits. It means your regular behavior. If you take the trash out on Tuesday night because they pick up on Wednesday, you take the trash out religiously or habitually. The dark side, the evil one, Satan has used the term religion to turn it into this twisted hate word. Oh, that's a religious person. You know what? If you go home every day and switch on the television, that's your religion. If you turn to the television for comfort, amusement, and entertainment to rest your soul, that is actually your religion, is heading for the TV. Enough said. Christianity Dangers, Part 1.